Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. We're headed to the crazy mountains of Montana. I received a Bigfoot sighting report about a year ago from a young man deer hunting named Dylan. I've been wanting to go to the crazy mountains because of the Bigfoot sighting reports that have come out of this area. And then after receiving this Bigfoot sighting report, it motivated us to come out here and have a look around. My brother, Jared Shaw, he is from Bozeman, Montana, so I enlisted his help. I asked him, you know anything about the crazy mountains? So we used his guide service to come out here and check out the area. Jared called them the crazies. I guess the locals of Montana call them the crazies. Jared's like, yes, I know where the crazy mountains are, and he took us out to the Big Timber area, exactly where we needed to go. This is where the Bigfoot sighting took place. We come up here to see if lightning will strike twice, to look for Bigfoot activity, and to show you guys the area where these Bigfoot sightings are coming from. All the way north to White Sulphur Springs, Montana. Bigfoot sightings all over the crazy mountains. This is the most recent one. We're going to give you the Bigfoot sighting report as we look around and check out the beauty of these crazy mountains. Dylan writes, RMSO. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dylan. I messaged you on YouTube. I just want to start by saying I have hunted all of my life. Been in the deep wilderness. I know what it's like to be stalked by a grizzly or a cougar, but I had an experience that changed the way I feel about the woods. When I was 17, my father and I were way up in the avalanche chute in the crazy mountains of Big Timber, Montana. We were about 6 hours into our hunt and didn't see one animal. And for this ranch, it is very strange because you usually see about 100 head of deer before you go through the first gate. By the way, we were hunting on a 10,000-acre ranch. So we decided to take a break and eat when we started hearing what sounded like wood being torn from a trunk of a tree. It wasn't really close, and so we really didn't pay any attention to it. The sound went on and off for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then it was silent. Not a bird chirping or a squirrel barking. My dad started to get uneasy and said we should head off. So we started to traverse the left side of the chute, slowly heading up the mountain away from the tree line. I was in the back following my dad. All of a sudden I heard a pop. I thought it was another hunter shooting in our direction. So I got up behind a rock. My dad did the same thing. Then he yelled down to where the noise came from. Right after he yelled, another pop. We got our binoculars out to see who this dumbass was. My father was looking through the binoculars in the direction of the pop. And then my father made the most horrible gasp and froze. I shook his shoulder and he just pointed. All I could see was a shaggy, grayish, black mass of fur, hunched down by the side of a tree, right at the edge of the tree line. It was almost 800 yards down in the valley. Right then I started to comprehend what I was looking at. It moved back, and we heard another pop. My dad pushed me back and said, "We need to move now." By this time, it was getting dark. We had maybe an hour or two of light. With a long hike ahead, we didn't hear or see anything for a while, mostly trying to get back to the truck. When the light faded and we had to break out the mag light, we started hearing the pop again. At least it was still a ways back. We hit a creek about a mile from the truck, and my dad decided it would be a good idea to shoot a couple of rounds. He cranked off 2 with our 270, and right after, we heard 2 consecutive pops. My dad just looked at me and said, "We're going home." That was the last time I went that far up into the crazies. It was probably the most frightening yet interesting thing that has happened to me. I moved out to Oregon later that year, but I definitely want to go back and try and find, or at least hear that again. so get back to me if you have a chance. This is RMSO's response to Dylan. Thank you for messaging us. What was the name of the ranch? How much of this gray creature did you see? Did you see its face, or were you able to estimate its height? And anything else, please? Dylan responds, it was the Grossfield Ranch in Big Timber, Montana. It's known as the Crazy Mountains. It's open usually during hunting season. You just have to talk to the owner. What I saw of the creature was what looked like the right shoulder and forearm, with one bent below. It was a distance. I couldn't see a face, but definitely a shaggy side of a head. The hair was more like dreadlocks, looking matted down. For the height, I would say 6 foot, maybe less, crouched, but probably double standing up. It was definitely crouched. It looked like it was straddling the base of a tree with the right knee poking out a few feet out. I would say it would weigh close to 900 pounds. I couldn't get a good view of its torso, but judging from the distance and how big the tree was, it was very huge. A side note, the new state record grizzly for Montana was taken from this same mountain. RMSO responds, thank you for the communication, Dylan. We had a similar experience in Montana a few years ago at a Bigfoot sighting location. Mouth popping. We did not see what kept making the mouth pops directly at us. However, the video that we shot, some folks found something of interest in the video. It may be a coincidence that we kept hearing mouth popping in the same direction there was a face hidden in the woods. The face was in the same direction we heard the mouth popping. Maybe an illusion, maybe the real culprit of the mouth popping remained hidden, but because we heard mouth popping and we see this humanoid face staring at us from the cover, the video is of interest. Down in the description of this video on YouTube, I'll leave a link to that video where we captured the face with the mouth popping here in Montana. The crazies have been on my bucket list for a very long time, and thank you for your Bigfoot sighting report, Dylan. Your Bigfoot sighting report is what motivated us to finally get out here and take a look around. I have saw the Bigfoot sighting reports that come out of this area. Most of them are concentrated on the north side of the Crazy Mountains near White Sulphur Springs, and I believe the reason why most of the sightings are there is because it's a tourist location for locals and people out of state to go and swim in the hot springs. Plus there's a lot of lakes there for fishing, kayaking. So yeah, you get more people in a Bigfoot sighting location. Those areas where there's the most people, you're going to get the most sightings, of course. I'm happy to get in here and take a look around. This Big Timber area is very squatchy. A lot of resources here. We saw a lot of deer in the area, and Jenny kept pointing out all the berries that were in season, and then you pointed out, Dylan, that the largest grizzly bear harvested was out of these Crazy Mountains. Well, that's because there's the resources. One of the things that I have put together in my search for Bigfoot is if it's a bear location, if the resources are there for a bear, it's usually a Bigfoot location. A lot of the Bigfoot sighting hot spots are very popular for the bear. The bear are omnivores. I believe the Bigfoot's an omnivore. I believe the Bigfoot's out there eating the same thing as the deer and the elk, and then when it gets a chance, just like the grizzly bear eats the deer and the elk. According to statistics, grizzlies are 85% vegetarian and the other 15% meat. Maybe Bigfoot's the same thing, grows very big predators or omnivores having that kind of a diet, so may explain why a lot of these Bigfoot sightings, the Bigfoot are very large. I know Bigfoot's not born 7 feet tall and 800 pounds, but the resources are out there for it to grow that large. And if the Bigfoot has a very wide diet, like for instance a moose can eat pine needles, and they also call the moose the stick eater because it'll eat the sticks of branches and stuff. If a Bigfoot has that big of a diet, that wide of a variety, I mean, look at all the conifers in these forests. The Bigfoot can just go anywhere and eat. However, I believe the Bigfoot probably has a diet of these black bear and grizzly bears. I hope you guys enjoyed a look at the crazies. Big Timber, Crazy Mountain, Montana. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching. I would like to apologize about the crazy weather that we had in the crazy mountains. We didn't get to do as much hiking. We would hike a little bit and then we would have to take cover. It hailed on us, it rained on us, it snowed on us, and I apologizing about the popping of the raindrops and the hail hitting the mic of the camera. Unavoidable. We can't control the weather. When we go into a Bigfoot sighting location, sometimes we get a sunny day, sometimes it rains and hails on us like it did now. The weather in the crazy mountains was very crazy. Keep on watching, we'll keep squatching.
I love this kind of stuff.